Resident Evil 9. It's a good game. Yeah, it's definitely a good comeback. They haven't had a next-gen game since, well, like a new next-gen game since 8. Which was like, what, 5-6 years ago now? I just associate it with like 2020 PS5 release, next gen. I mean, to me, it was kind of like one of their tech demo games. Capabilities, first person, graphics, RE engine, modern. Yeah, this one really checked all the boxes. I just love the color palette, like the red and the white. It's just very clean, very polished. It looked great. I love the beginning. Like the graphics are so smooth and yeah, I mean, to me it's just another Resident Evil game, really. I mean, it's just you can like change it up 100 times, but it's still Resident Evil. It's good, but it's like I don't know. It's just different enemy designs, different settings, some different characters, some old places. It's just kind of the same thing over and over. It is a good, fresh, new experience, so in of its own right. But it's like one of those franchises, series that doesn't really, I don't know, they don't really evolve or grow or do something different, or because as I was playing it, like at first it was like ooh, ah, and then it was like, you know, it's just, yeah, just me going through the ropes, routine. I don't know, like halfway through it kind of felt like, you know, I've done this before, I've been there, done that. I want more of it. It's so good that you want more and more. But it really, I don't know, you can kind of get more or less the same vibe from playing any of the other games, especially 2 remake, 3 remake, 4 remake, 7 and 8, specifically the modern ones. Like those are all so good as well. Like there's no bad or good game really, so it's kind of it's very neutral, it's very safe. Like they don't really, they go there, they definitely go there. As far as, I mean, all I've seen it done throughout the years and all the games is like, oh, classic horror, action horror, that's about it. So it's like they've gone down that road and they're just kind of staying there. I don't know, playing this game felt like playing like 10 different games at once, like other RE games and other games like Outlast and Evil Within 2 and Evil Within. Pretty much every horror game you can think of. They just kind of, it's just like a mix of random stuff. The biggest issue I kind of had with it overall in general is like, it's like, hey, here we're going back to RPD, Raccoon City, Leon, blah blah blah. But I don't know, I just wish they kind of brought it back. And they're doing that, but like they're doing so many other things too. I don't know, they're just very unfocused. And at the end of the day, I realize it's a Japanese game, Japan, very weeby, all over the place. You think of anime. I mean, it is what it is, and this is the road that it was always going to go down from the very beginning. It was never going to always stay that way, or maybe even come back. But what's weird is they have the potential to do that, but I don't know what they're afraid of or scared of it. Like, this is most... I don't know if it's a business thing or this is just most games in general. Yakuza, for example, they just kind of... They keep doing the same thing, but they don't really kind of just bring it back. Like, I realize you want to move forward in time. You don't want to be stuck in the past. You don't want to... You want to be very pro-future and move on kind of thing and move forward, go ahead. I don't know, they just don't really ever... Like 7 and 8 and this one, the remakes are great. And I'm glad they brought those back, but it's like they keep trying to do these new games and I feel nothing. Like, it's just like, oh cool, some Texas Chainsaw, oh cool, some werewolves and vampires and this and that. But it's just going so left field, and which is fine because it's within its realm to do that. It has the opportunity. It's making its own choice and decision to do so. It's still good at what it does, and it does it well, and regardless of all these other things. But like, just... I don't know. Stick to the undead zombie. We don't need all these big, weird, scary boss monsters and designs, because the way I look at it, like, there's people behind the scenes, you know, drawing all these new things and coming up with this story and, you know, putting all the pieces together, but it's like, it doesn't feel like there's any heart in it or charm. And throughout the years and people coming and going and getting older, and like, I kind of understand that with time. It's just one of those things. But honestly, what I would have wanted instead was just like remake 0 or 1, but with like the modern RE engine. I love the pre-rendered backgrounds and the camera angles, and it's like they just keep forgetting more and more every day, like, what made Resident Evil good in the first place, and going back to its roots and where it all started. But I don't know, this is a direction they kind of have to take, and it's like, I get it. You know, you don't want people being like, hey, why are we, you know, why is this kind of... They can't it's a product, it's a business, it's money. They can't really... Because all in all, all they have to say is like, well, if you don't, you know, enjoy it, go play your old games. They're there, they're available, but they're old games. And it's like with new technology, they keep making new games, which they just look better and better each time, which rightfully so. But there just seems to be something lacking. Like, it's very hollow and shallow, and those older games, and it's not even just Resident Evil, they just had so much, but just Capcom alone, they had so much style and flavor and like a formula and a certain taste and acquirement and an aesthetic and vibe and the energy, and they're just kind of becoming the flagship generic, you know, normal, average, everyday, anybody can play horror game. It's definitely the leader up there, and but then you think of like indie horrors and how good those are and how good those can be, and then, you know, Resident Evil is very predictable at this point. It's very typical. I mean, it's definitely not to take away from what good is there, because there's a lot of it, but I just think at the core of it, the fine details and the overall aspect of what I would want from Resident Evil, like, today, now. But I don't know, that's kind of just whatever. It doesn't really matter, but it's just something to think about. cutscenes are good.
Grace Ashcroft,
Yes?
my office.
Oh, coming.
Other than that, though, just getting kind of those little tidbits out of the way. I mean, it is. I loved Grace. She's really pretty. She reminds me of Ashley. Of course, every RE girl's gonna just be a fox. Leon's back. He's old, wrinkly, run down, but he still got it. Rusty, but like, I don't know. He's an old man. He needs to retire. That man is exhausted. He's been through some shit. But these are definitely guys that are just kind of, they're just gonna keep working till they drop, I guess, right? I mean, they have a responsibility. They're the heroes of this universe and this world, and they gotta just keep on keeping on. But you even notice that with Chris too, like he's getting kind of lumpy, and it's like they're still buff but not. Dad bod, uncle. I don't know, it's making me feel old seeing Leon. But then not that long ago, you think of like RE2 when he still had a baby face, and he was obviously gradually getting older, like in 4, more experienced. But now he's just kind of the top dog, and I don't know, it's cool. If it wasn't for Leon, there's no way Grace could have carried the game by herself. But I'm actually glad what they did with Grace. They kind of really gave her more of a... They were pretty generous with her content. Because usually it's just like, oh, be Ada for a minute. You know, here and there something. Be a little bit of everyone, like in 6. Be Ashley for 20 minutes. Between you and your buddy, someone could be Sheva. Like, they definitely did her some justice, and it's kind of nice to see for a change, actually. You know, in 0, you could be Rebecca or Billy, really, but you're just both at the same time, simultaneously, so... But not gonna lie, the whole time I was Grace, I did want to be Leon instead, as much as I was liking knowing Grace and who she is and what she had to offer as a character and personality, and... She's definitely interesting, and you could tell she... Like, obviously she's not just gonna be like a normal person. There's definitely more to it. But it was kind of like Ethan in 8. Like, she's a new character, but you're kind of like, at first, because you're so used to the OGs. But then just like Ethan, I ended up really liking him too. But that was a little different because it was his whole game. Like, there was no Leon or nothing. Other than, okay, Chris made like a cameo, basically. Ooh. Yeah, I don't know, the game was just good. It wasn't bad. Like, it had good pacing, it had good sections, good areas, good fights, good... little bit of everything. Good locations and scenery and spots and guns, and there wasn't really anything wrong with it. Like, other than the personal preferences, and I mean, there's some definitely some issues. Like, it was really hard to kind of juke around them. I chose third person because first was kind of like, I don't know, I'm just more used to third, and it's more spatial awareness, it's better. You can see more around you. That's how most of the games are anyway. Even though they intended for Grace to be first person, which is kind of whatever at the end of the day, and like, oh, they just want it to be like a horror simulator, a haunted house. Ooh, scary. And I get that, but like I don't really get scared anyway, especially from these games. So like I wasn't expecting it to be like if I had the choice to do third, I was gonna just do third the whole way. Aside from even just being Leon. Yeah, everyone's gonna do it differently. Like, oh, maybe they're more used to first-person shooters, even though I wouldn't really call Resident Evil like a shooter game. There's guns in it, but it's not Call of Duty or Battlefield or, you know. Like, there's so much going on that the guns are there and they're relevant, but and stats and this and that, but there's just you don't want to put like too much thought into it. But yeah, it's kind of weird, like, oh, and especially because I had wanted to equalize the audio a bit, so I turned the sound effects down. Dude, there'd be someone like right behind you, right next to you, you would not even know, even in third person. I wish they zoomed out a bit more. Like in 4, for example, there was a really good, or maybe it was 2 or both, like there's a really good setting where you could really zoom that camera out to where you can see your character, and that's another thing, you can enjoy actually seeing your character instead of just a hand and a gun and a flashlight. But those games were great because not only did it feel like you were going faster than you really were, because these games are really slow, but you could pretty much see everything around you, which is really nice. But it's not so zoomed out either, where like a JRPG or something where you can literally just see everything. But it wasn't just like over the shoulder predator gun. I mean, shit, their models are taking up like half the screen, so it doesn't really help you see a whole lot. To be fair, if I did do first, which I'll just do next time I play anyway, at least you can see what's in front of you versus now you got some model taking up all that real estate. Yeah, everyone, I don't know. I mean, you can replay it, and it definitely asks for replayability, and you're always gonna have chances to do things you couldn't do the first time. Like, oh, I forgot to do... That's another thing, I couldn't find a note for a case, I couldn't find a way to get back to open this container. A lot of things went really wrong at first. It's a learning experience, but like, oh, I wasted a bunch of ammo, oh, I didn't get this note before I encountered this enemy, oh, I accidentally used a heal. Like, there's a lot of things that could go wrong very quickly. Which are just things that can happen in any game, but especially having experience playing all of them, or most of them, and then playing games at all, and then playing this, is just... I don't know, it was kind of rough. It definitely teaches you to like, hey, don't do this or do that, and make those common mistakes that are really easy to do, at least at first, but then, you know, about a little less than halfway you get used to it, and then it's just a little more smoother. Yeah, good quality of life though. It felt good moving around, the mobility, even with the hindrances to the viewing. It was really dark. I even tried HDR, but it makes the output look pretty bad when you're, you know, when you're using a capture card trying to stream or something, or it actually washed away all the color too. Like, it was just gray and flat and plain. But the HDR did help me see a lot further in front of me with the flashlight, third person, whatever. Because I was doing some testing in between. I was like, God damn. Felt like playing Silent Hill 2 Remake again. I just couldn't see shit. Yeah, I mean, everything is kind of more or less the same as any other RE game. So as different as this is, and it is a whole game, so there's that, but like, it's the same crap all over again. gameplay was good.
It should be around here.
Sorry I'm late.
It's fine. I only just got here myself.
Where's Kevin?
He's late too.
Yeah, it felt a little chunky. It felt kind of wasn't really super reactive. It kind of, if it's close to anything, it's probably like 4, where I don't know if it's just because Leon's getting buffer or what the deal is, but like it just, like even Grace, she's like lighter and skinnier and smaller, but like there's still this threshold of like this weight. Like you kept having to kind of jam your run button and really, when you're trying to not get shit thrown at you and some zombie trying to grab you and all these things, like I think it could have been a lot more. I had to raise the sensitivity almost all the way up. There's like 1 pip left, like the horizontal. I don't know, it's just, you know, and you're looking around for stuff, and it was like kind of, it just felt like such a chore to kind of just move around, and that's why it took me a little bit longer. And yeah, on console, I mean, that's just gonna be kind of part of it, but there's been plenty of other games where you're just kind of moving a little bit faster. Like, hey, I'm not expecting like Warframe or Apex or something mobility, but like, oh my god. It just felt like you couldn't really do anything half the time. You were gonna get screwed over, maybe you forgot parries even existed, or God, it was just rough. I felt like I was just playing hard mode the whole time. Like everything was just kind of just, there were, obviously I died a few times, but like there's things I could have done better. It was just kind of a hot mess, really. But it happened throughout the whole game too. It wasn't even like, oh, you know, get broken in at first and then smooth sailing from there. Like as far as just knowing what you're doing and how to get around, like basic shit, like you understood that eventually, but it just kind of stood at like you're just stuck in like this kind of constantly getting screwed over simulator somehow. And it's a horror game, and rightfully so, but half the time it's like you can't help but feel like they want you to die for the sake of dying, or they want you to get hit for the sake of getting hit, and it's just like, you know, you have the capability and the capacity to do better and perform better, but it's just something was kind of not really there working out. But I mean, everyone's gonna have kind of a different overall deal. They could be doing a lot worse, they could be doing a lot better. It's just gonna really vary. But yeah, it was interesting. I was intrigued, immersed. I loved the hype of it. I loved, like, it felt, because all they've been doing, at least since 8 or before or whatever, is just the remakes, which are great for me because I didn't play the old ones, and that's like a whole nother subject. But I was like, I'm pretty much just playing something that's new, that's old. I don't know. I definitely needed this. I definitely needed something to kind of reinvigorate that love for RE, and it's a good reminder of how good and capable this series is, with some drawbacks, but nothing to definitely get in the way, or nothing that wasn't worth, like, you wanted to keep going, you didn't want to quit, it was worth continuing and finding out what the next boss was, what the next enemy, the next area, the next thing, where it was all kind of leading to, because there's a lot of unanswered questions and all the speculation, like, did this have to do more with Outbreak or 2, or I would say they're kind of connected with all of them in a way. Like, they've always done a pretty fair job at kind of putting all the pieces together, but just enough to kind of get the picture, but not too much. Because to me, there's so many games by now that, like, how do you keep up with it all? Like, the lore and the theories and the... I mean, a lot of it's just kind of empty stuff to theorize about, and... But a lot of good conversation pieces, like you want to try to figure it out, and we're all... Since everyone plays together at the same time, we're all trying to learn it together and figure out what's going on. And I think what was the most interesting for me throughout was, you know, what someone else does differently than you, and because there's a lot of things you may not see or find or really look for, but someone else might spot these things like immediately or not at all, or what strategy did they use to get through certain parts or just the whole game. Or I mean, that's gonna be kind of everybody anytime, but like it's surprising how much detail they actually put into the fact that it can be really easy to play very differently from somebody else. Like, it's gonna happen, but yet they still find a way for everyone to kind of have like the same reactions, like oh, who's this person, and I want to know more, and they remind me of this person, and this part reminds me of like just whatever. There's a lot of layers, a lot of you know, they packed in so much into like a very tight-knit, condensed, but solid concrete foundation of a game. But another thing I would have wanted too was, like, they've always been pretty good at having these semi-open world sections, but it's not open world, but it's not necessarily A to B either and linear. But kind of just these big chunks of, like, you're stuck there for a while, kind of like what Silent Hill 2 did. They're really good at, like, having these little paths to get to the next spot, but then you're there for hours, and then so on. But I would have loved just, like, kind of an open world RE game. I think everyone... Some people don't like open world games, which are crazy, but I think that'd be great. Just for the sake of like actually exploring and like really taking it all in and looking around instead of just kind of rushing through. I definitely didn't rush through, I took my time. But I didn't want to sit there and like take it all in either and just, you know, stare at butterflies, but... Yeah, I think it took me like 20-ish, 19 hours. But, yeah, definitely worth it. Had a lot to offer. I think some things could have been better, but there's no such thing as, like, a perfect game. It does add more lore, story to the world, I guess, even though it's more or less the same... Just different avenues, different directions. It's all writing. It's all some Japanese person like writing it all down, whether it's the devs or the director or the creator or whatever's kind of going on. Yeah, I looked up Grace's real life face model. She's gorgeous. God damn. One person I haven't looked up, I mean, I'm not sitting there trying to look up who Leon looks like in real life, but yeah, I don't know, good voice acting, good cutscenes, very cinematic, good production value. It's the quality AAA thing that you would expect. Some parts that reminded me of 8 specifically, and I don't know, you really just get a little bit of everything, which is good and bad, I think, because I don't know, you got a little bit of one, you got a little bit of like a mansion feel, but like it's like they keep reusing all their assets. But part of the issue of that is like they know that people like what they've done before and where they're a successful thing for a reason. Like I love Capcom games. I'm a little bit more excited for Onimusha, to be honest. Way of the Sword. Just because I'm more biased towards Onimusha, but it's Capcom. I just love Capcom. I love Exoprimal, Devil May Cry. I'm gonna play one day. Never got into Mega Man. Just kind of all the stuff that they do. I've never been too into Street Fighter. But what they do like they do make that I like, I do enjoy it probably more than most things. It's just they make it so too easy to kind of have the fan base that they do, because they really know they have a lane and they stick to it, but at the same time they're making games that kind of are. And obviously I think it's a decision where like, hey, this game did really well, let's kind of take something from that and implement it into our game and have our own spin on it. There's definitely, that's just what people do. Like they see things they like and they remix it and they put their own touch on it, which is perfectly fine. But that's all it kind of felt like, was just that. Some of it really reminded me of Evil Within 1 with like the psychological setting, but not so much psychological horror. They kind of leaned off The Baby in some ways. These really big BOWs like from 6. There's some things that reminded me of 5. Like it's literally it's just every game combined into one. Like they just kind of crunched it all up, which I think works. But it's like at this point you're probably better off just going and actually playing those other games. And I think that's part of the point as well, is like they want you to enjoy this game, sure, but they want you to also have an excuse to just keep playing their games. It's just human people manipulation. That's just how it is. It's social media. It's kind of everywhere you go. It's conditioning. It works, and I'm a sucker for it. I'll simp for Resident Evil any day, but I kind of feel used too. Like I want to play other stuff besides Resident Evil, guys. Like it's a good game, but damn. But it's like most of what I watch, it's most of what I look out for and go for, and I've replayed most of these multiple times, and it's just always a good time. It's entertaining, it's fun, it's exciting. No matter what RE game it is, 6. But yeah. I don't know, there's not much else to it. It just kind of... It's the same thing. It's looking a lot more realistic. It's almost looking too realistic. Well, in a way. They're definitely not trying to go for like a realism necessarily, like Grand Theft Auto or something, but like... That's what makes Capcom so good, or Resident Evil, is because it's like they don't lean too much into the fantasy stuff. You're a human, you're in a city, whether it's fake or not. Yes, there's zombies, but you know, you gotta add have one element in there that kind of makes it a little bit more like fun. But this game, it's just kind of like it just gets out of hand. Like this virus thing has been going on for so long, and it's been done so many different ways, and the different viruses and threads and strains, and just like Jesus, man. Some of it reminded me of Dead Space as well. It was just like boom, boom, boom. Like I didn't even feel like I was playing Resident Evil. I felt like I was playing like just other games the whole time. Which I like me some references. I like me some nods to some homages to other good horror titles, but like half the time you're sitting there, you're like, what am I playing? Like, you just don't even. I mean, you kind of just have to sit back and accept it at some point, but I don't know. I think it's definitely losing its flavor. It worries me because if they keep going this direction, what's next? It's just gonna be another it's just gonna be this over and over and over. Like, I think unless they go back to something a little more, and this is what people, you also wonder, thinking of like outside elements of it all, like, are they taking fan base, are they taking the community into account? Are people saying like, hey, go back to the classic horror stuff? Like, clearly some people don't exactly like all this goofy, wacky, random action horror nonsense. Like, you still want that Capcom sense of humor, but you just can't help but want to just kind of just go back a bit. But what I think they're doing is leaning into the whole like, oh, this is the woke age, new age, cringe, let's just make it as kind of dorky, and I don't know, like, you almost can't even take the game seriously because it's just kind of like, ugh. It's just kind of a drag. It's still good. I mean, obviously I'll play this over most things, even within its own genre, like, hands down, but I don't know, it partly makes you want to play other RE games, it partly makes you want to just play something else entirely, like, just go play an actual good horror game that kind of has some, like, self-respect for its nature and what it's doing, and offers, like, the most organic, natural way to do whatever it is that they're doing and trying to portray its art. But it's like Resident Evil just feels like some showpiece for, like, they're trying to be the king, and they are the king, and they're staying the king. But sometimes you want to, like, take them down a peg, or, like, you know, try to smack some sense into them, like, hey guys, let's do better, be better. But you know, life goes on, you play it, you move on, you play other stuff, but it's supposed to be this immersive, engaging, interactive kind of thing, and you want it to be this end-all be-all solution every time. Like, these games are supposed to get better and better, and they do, but what ends up happening is, if it's reverse psychology, they end up going backwards. Like, in their minds, they're like, oh, we're doing everything right, we're, you know, doing everything we're supposed to do, but they're not. I just don't think there's much care, like, thought into, you know, how can we refresh what RE is, but within a new light, a new beginning, a new phase or something. But yeah, they might change it, they might not. Either way, I mean, in our lifetime, we're just gonna have to kind of see where it goes. There's really not much else you can do. But that's part of it's time too. It's tough because, like, you want to see these things kind of do what you want within your time. But it's like, watch, I'm gonna leave this world, dude, and then they're gonna make the game I want, kind of thing. It's like, it's kind of disappointing, but because I know where it's been, and I know how it started, and I know where it can go, or what it can be, and it keeps trying to be everything that it's not, and I can relate to that because I know what that's like, and or it's like Resident Evil's having like an identity crisis. Like they're just kind of not really understanding kind of where they're at and what they're doing, the environment around them. They're just confused and lost, and like you kind of sympathize from, like, I feel bad because it's just kind of not working in the way that it should be, or that it could be, that I want it to be. But there's always going to be others that feel that exact same way. But then the problem is there's going to always be that divide of like, oh well, I like the way they're going, I don't like the way they're going, I like this, I don't like that. You're never gonna win, so I guess it's whatever. Just a waste of time and energy, effort. But it'd be nice. I'm also worried too that Leon's aging. Like, everyone's aging, they're getting older, which is nice to see. But I kind of wish they were doing what Ash did, was just kind of stay young forever. What has Ash been 12 for like 20 years or something? 30 years? Because I'm like, dude, is Leon gonna die? Is Chris gonna die? Like, imagine these characters you've grown up with for so long, or known about, or whatever the case may be, and all of a sudden they're just dead. Which worries me is, again, what if they all get replaced one day? I mean, how long is this series gonna go for? And they're just gonna... And that's why they're leaning into the remakes too, is to kind of keep everybody alive and well and healthy, but it's just a means to an end. It's not gonna last forever, so... But especially this being 9, and I'm hoping they make the next game Rex, REX, RE10. See, that's where things could get interesting, because 10 games in, I mean, anything can happen, so that's why I think about this now, is because it's kind of that precipice of like the fact that this could change the direction that this franchise goes in from here on out, and you're wondering, sitting there, like, what could be next and what's gonna happen. And also, like, I don't really dig into the lore stuff too much. I'm like, hey, it's whatever, you know, who cares? But I think it's weird because they are trying to kind of dip into the origin of it all, but you'd almost think of like Jill and Chris or something, not necessarily Leon, even though Leon was kind of where a lot of this did start to kind of kick off a bit more, to be fair. But you know, or did they put Leon in just for the fan service, or I don't know, did Leon deserve to be in this game? He definitely fit the bill, but like, it does become one of those things, kind of like a role, an actor role in a movie, like, oh, no one could have done it better. And I know Jill was just in 3 remake, and she's been in 5, and then Chris was just in 8, so you don't really want to bring him back too early. Andy was in 7, Andy was in 5, and in 6, and in 1, so you gotta chill out with Chris a bit. But I don't know, and the fact that they're bringing another character, Grace, into it, I don't know. That's another point, is like, as much as we're liking these new characters, Grace, Ethan, they're expanding their roster so much. Like, just do one game where it's just Jill, just Chris, just Ada, just Leon, just Claire. Like, that would be great. I mean, has Jill even ever met Leon, like, other than maybe like the CGI movies or something, like in game? I mean, Chris never really got along with Ada, which is, you know, fine. Yeah, Jake's gone. I guess Sherry's still around. Where's Billy? Is Rebecca chilling? God, she was in another... What else was she in besides Zero? Was it like one of the Revelations games? I don't know. Not a whole lot going on with her. I don't know. I think they're overwhelming their stuff, their resources. They need to like figure it out, get their priorities straight. At this point, these characters are becoming, they have so much seniority that they're just kind of like popping them in here and there. It doesn't feel like they're all kind of coming together, like these universes and worlds or different stories are kind of mashing up. That would be really cool. It's like when all the Power Rangers met up for the first time, and or something like that, or when someone collabs with Batman and or Scooby-Doo, or I just love seeing that kind of mix and fusion of like different things. It's an idea to think about for the next game. That's another thing too, like, is this all pre-written? Was this all meant to be and planned like just years ago, or is this kind of like just as they go along the way? Like, you don't really know unless you're a dev and you work there and you're involved with the with Resident Evil and Capcom specifically. You're just not really gonna actually know, so there's no solid concrete proof of or evidence of like what's going on. And yeah, there can be leaks and fake news and all that, but I don't really depend on that to go off of anything actual factual and informative. It's just kind of just written stuff that someone decides to do and make it a thing. Yeah, good game overall. It has some, it's definitely memorable. I know it's early in the year, but I do want it to get, I don't really normally do that either. Like, I want it to get Game of the Year. I don't normally care about, like, overrated mainstream garbage, trash, saturated bullshit. And I know it's only February, but, well, March now, but it could be... Which doesn't even mean anything. It's a great start to the year. If this it's definitely gonna get nominated, that's for sure. But, and I don't normally vote on Game of the Year, but I really do want it to kind of succeed, and because I've been kind of let down recently. Ghost of Yotei didn't get much, even though I didn't even play that. But it's the culture, the country this game come from. It's like, I want these games to do well. Silent Hill never really got its due, and Silent Hill F, Silent Hill 2 remake. I feel like these games are, I mean, it's a horror game, so it's definitely, but it's, to me, it's one of the biggest genres there is. But it's always going to be competing with like action and whatever else. But they just can't quite seem to kind of make the mark, huh? They're just always going to be that kind of underdog thing, which is fine. But yeah, I hope it does well. I hope it wins something, because it's most of these Game of the Years I just don't care about. It's Astro Bot, Claire Obscure, Expedition 33, like all this stuff that's just like, it gets Game of the Year just because it's an overall opinion, or, you know, some follower sheep biased kind of decision choice. It's not even like, is it actually good though, or like there's nothing to grasp from it. There's no hook. It's just kind of, it exists and it's a thing, and then for the sake of that it gets all this unwanted or attention it doesn't deserve or shouldn't have. So it'd be nice to see this Resident Evil really come back. I feel like they kind of need that break. They've been putting in a lot of work. The remakes, 7, 8, But they just can't quite seem to kind of get there, huh? If anything, within the horror community, like the Fangoria Chainsaw Awards, I'm pretty sure Resident Evil won something there, or Resident Evil 4, or Silent Hill 2 or something. It's another thing, comparing it to Silent Hill, it's like, even those games, they're I mean, that's a whole nother deal, but I don't think they're quite landing either. That's the only other comparable series, and they're kind of just all over the place. I don't know, I think these games need, like, there's just a lack of direction. There's just so many people involved now, and it's just a job and, you know, a paycheck, and, you know, these guys just pumping out all this stuff, all these games, the demand, and especially since the outbreak, and, you know, the, like, all this data, the analytics, and the streaming, and the content, and videos, and being an internet age, and technology, and but if they, I don't know, that's another reason why it just won't kind of be what it was, because it's just not gonna happen. It's not in the books. It's done. It's been that era is kind of over. The golden era, unfortunately. The dark days. I don't think it has to be over. I think you can still make a great looking new modern game, but still really kind of make it look old, and you can kind of do that with like VHS filters. That's not really my point though, or like black and white, and just, I don't know. I'll never kind of get that out of my head, because it really does become kind of like an obsessive thought of like just wanting to unlock their true potential, but there's just nothing I can do about it, kind of thing. So, oh well. Yeah, RE9 Requiem, it's pretty good.